Hello, this is a video about how to work out problem 61 from chapter 15 of Peck's Introduction to Statistical Data Analysis. It's just a one-way ANOVA problem that compares pockets in a filling operation to some samples in units of ounces. This problem is really pretty simple. It's basically just asking you to use the ANOVA F-test to determine whether the null hypothesis of no difference in the mean fill weight of the 5 pockets can be rejected. So the first thing that we're going to do is rewrite the data so that it's a little bit easier to work out this test.
So now this is just a close-up of the end result of the first step. You can see that we've taken all the pocket data and we have put it into columns called X for pockets 1 through 5, and we have them just going down in columns like I mentioned before, and then next to it we've got the X squared values. So now for the next part of our problem, we've just provided all of the sums for each column of X and each column of X squared. So we're just writing across.
And this step is really easy. You're just adding up numbers in the columns. After we've summed up all the columns, we're just going to write the number of samples in each column. So it's just 5, and then we're going to do the means for each column. At this point, we've made it to the sum of squares part, and this is really an easy step. All you have to do is take the sum of the x squared columns. So for our first column, it's 508.24, and from that you subtract 50.4 squared over 5, and that gives you 0.208, and we've done that for all of the columns. So finally we can move on to phase 2 of this question, in which you get the group data. So the first thing that you do is you find G, which is just the sum of all of the sums of the x columns. Then after that you just find the sums of the x squareds, then you find the population size, and then you find the sum of squares, and you find k, which is just the number of groups.
Finally, we've made it to phase 3 of this problem, and what we've done is we've included the formulas for each part of the ANOVA table, and we're actually filling in the table. We're doing the between groups, within groups, and the total stuff.
When we compare our F value from our ANOVA table, which was 2.241, to the value from the F table, 2.87, we can either decide whether we're going to reject or retain the null hypothesis. And we decide that we can retain the null hypothesis, so there is no difference between the pockets.